What's up? How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Pretty good. Long time no talk.
I know. I was just like, I actually tried to figure out, I was like, how long has it been since I saw like last saw him? It's 2018. So I was like,
Is that been a
yeah.
minute then?
I mean,
This
also,
this phone camera is not very flattering, is it? Just like a big beard shot.
I was cheating. I was like on Zoom beforehand, like I was like lining this up properly. How have you been? You're a dad now. Congratulations.
Thank you. I am. Yeah, it's exciting. It's a lot of fun actually. Is that he's hit the 4 month mark now. So he's having what they call sleep regression. So he's trying to like wake up every 30 minutes. So it's a lot of no sleep at the moment, which sucks, but you get through it. It only lasts a couple weeks. So
How did the name of the album come about? Because even just reading that line, it hits the feels a lot.
well, yeah, it's definitely quarantine related, to like being stuck inside for a whole year pretty much, where we haven't been able to do anything. So it kind of came from that. I think Derek said something regarding um, regarding COVID, and Jake liked the idea. And it's like that would be good for an album title. So they kind of like tweaked it a little bit, but yeah, that's basically where it came from. Being stuck inside, quarantining for a year, and not being able to do any shows, and then you get that album title. So
Because obviously the man with the umbrella, which was obviously on A Lessons in Romantics and your self-titled, and now this one. Except I feel like this one is like not as like obvious. It's a bit more like abstract, and it actually reminds me of when you like paint and you put black over the top and then you like scratch it away. Like,
mm-hmm.
so how did you get to like the idea of doing it like this and actually having him in this one?
So the last album didn't really feature Umbrella Man, so we thought we needed to bring him back because he's been a staple with our band for so long, and we had the idea of doing a lot of like colorful things. So we thought doing like a paint pour, kind of like what you said, where you have like the glass, like a black uh, painted glass where you etch away the black, and then you can have like the underneath be like the paint pour. I actually did like a mock-up of it at home, so they were like recreating that idea, of having like the paint going behind like a silhouetted image. I think it turned out pretty cool. And then you got like the little pieces of the Umbrella Man falling apart, kind of referencing the album title. So I like how it turned out. I think it looks pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. It actually took it's I love that also when you look at it, it's not as obvious that like you don't instantly go like, oh, Umbrella Man, then you're like, wait, it's actually like you can just tell on like the top where am I looking
Right.
at? But I sort of noticed like this bottom bit first, like the color, like the internal color parts as well. But I think it's just because also like I love to paint, so I was just like, I love this. And then I was like, wait, like it's almost like you step back and just see like, oh, it's Umbrella Man.
Yeah, we wanted to do something like different color scheme that we haven't used before. So, if you compare this to our other albums, like the color wise, it's not anything we've chosen before. So I think that's kind of nice to like have each album, when you look at it as like an image, every album cover looks slightly different. Like the color patterns and color tones are different. So
Because how long has like the album been in the works for, and how much did like the pandemic sort of like affect it or change it?
for that, oh well, we started recording this. I think we went in February of 2020 to start recording some songs. And then the pandemic kind of happened right around then. So we just made it home before they closed the airports. And then we were home for a while, and we only had recorded a couple of songs. And, being stuck at home, not being able to do anything or any shows or whatever. And it's like our writing kind of took a hit too, because we weren't feeling very motivated. So then like took a while to kind of get motivated again. But then once we had some new ideas on the table, went back into the studio like maybe mid or in the fall of 2021 to record some more. And then I think we did some more stuff. Oh, so hold on, 2020, fall of 2020. I'm getting confused.
It's
It's
all
been
a
so
blur
long.
now.
Yeah, and then so then then did a little bit more in the beginning of 2021 to kind of wrap it up. But normally when we record an album, we do it all at one time. So having an album split up where you do a few songs here and then a few songs there and then come back and like listen to it and make like little tweaks is new for us. So I think that it was beneficial to do it that way, because then you can come in with fresh ears and listen to stuff you've done in the past and go, okay, do we need to change anything or is this still good? You know? So I think it was beneficial to do it that way, but I don't know. I guess the audience will tell us if it's good or bad.
So how did you sort of decide on like 12 tracks? Like you sort of got to that 12 tracks and were like, this is it, this is good. Like, because did you have more than 12 tracks or was it actually just happened to get to 12 tracks?
No, we always have more than 12. I guess we could have made it shorter too, but you know, the standard album is kind of 12. That's what everybody comes to expect. So you don't want to really make it 10 or we could have done more, but the way we look at it is like put your best material up front, you know. So anything that's like that wasn't what we thought was like the best, normally use that as like a B-side or it's like a single, like a standalone single.
Yeah.
So with these, we came into the studio, we probably had, I don't know, maybe 30, 35 song ideas. And I mean, which is for us, that's actually on the lower end of what we normally come into the studio with. So narrowed that down to, I think, like 15. I think we recorded 15, but then we decided to just use 12 for the album. The other songs will release as like a standalone singles in the future.
Okay. So they're not binned completely then.
Not yet, no.
I wanted to ask about your videos because I love that. I think they're just so beautiful, but also the continuation that they have. So how did you have the ideas for those, and did those come together that you wanted to like make them a continuation of each other?
So we had limited time, you know what I mean? Like when we all are spread across the country because we all live in different states. We're like we want to shoot some music videos for the album, but we're only going to be in this certain area for a limited amount of time. So let's do like 3 songs, like all within like a 5-day period, so that we can get the most out of this, you know, while we're there. And then we shopped a few different directors, and then we ended up going to this lady named Kat. I forgot Kat's last name, but she's a great director, and she sent over some treatments. And I said, and you know, I was thinking that they were very cool treatments, but it'd be cooler to tell like a story. I think she had it like, I can't remember how exactly it was, if it was in reverse or if it was forward. They weren't exactly 100% tied is what I'm trying to say. So we kind of tied them together a little more, and we wanted to make it pretty inclusive. So we're like, we need like, I don't want to just see like a bunch of white people. I need to like have like different like races, different sexualities. Like we wanted to be pretty inclusive to everyone and not just tell like the same old boy girl love story that you see so many times. So we worked with that and worked with Kat, and she ended up coming up with an amazing treatment. And then we filmed that in California, in Glendale, California. And I think that's it. I don't know what else to say about it, but it turned out well. So.
I mean, bummed you guys didn't get picked up though. So that was a bummer.
Oh yeah, me too. Like, it's funny that when you do those things, like you record a lot more than what actually ends up in the video. So like there are longer sections of us doing things like for that particular video. But then like, when the editor like edits things, it's like they use like such small little clips, you know? So it's like, okay, well, you do like this, you spend a whole day out in the desert doing this thing, they use like 10 seconds of it. You know what I mean? So it's just funny kind of how that works. But
do you have a fave track on the album?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's tough. I kind of like get in this sort of routine where like after we've recorded the record, like I listen to it for like a bunch, like while we're going over the mixes to make sure that it's mixed correctly. And then I don't listen to it again for a long time. You know what I mean? Because I know that I'm like overplaying it, trying to make sure it's perfect. And then, so I don't want to like burn myself out on it. So I don't know. It's tough. I haven't listened to it in a minute, so it's tough. But I don't know. I feel like Derek, like we all write music in the band. We all write individual songs. So everyone has a different style. I feel like obviously the songs Derek writes fits his voice the best because, you know, he's writing it for his voice. So it makes sense. So his songs I'm always gravitate to. So maybe like, I'm trying to think what the names of them are. I think Golden Days, I think is a good one. I wouldn't say that's my favorite, but let's see. Notice, I think is good. That's one Derek wrote, and I think it fits his voice really well. It has a lot of power to it. And then Brooks wrote a song called Sideways, which I think is really cool and kind of a little different than we normally do. So I think that one's pretty neat as well. That's about it. Yeah. I mean, they're all like, they all have parts that are really great, but it's hard to classify like which ones are my favorite, you know.
And then it might change when you start playing them live too.
For sure. Whichever one is the most energetic, I probably will be drawn to.
I'm going to talk about shows now because I want to, especially with like, I suppose like Kids of the Summer and Warped Tour, because I don't know if you remember this, but we obviously like ran into you guys at Warped Tour, like Florida. I've actually like purposefully wore my like Warped Tour shirt, but I was like, yeah, I still have this. What I write, but obviously like when we were chatting to you guys and you guys were like singing your CDs and stuff, and I was like, I still have this.
Oh, awesome! I love it.
Put it in front of me. But I sort of wanted to bring it up because obviously like it was just an awesome memory, especially like I think it was like at one point when you guys were talking to people, we ended up taking your CDs and trying to like sell them for you, which was so cool. But it was funny because that same time we actually also met real friends who you're bringing to Australia as well. So that's why I was like,
perfect.
Yeah, I just so I obviously want to like talk about the Australian shows and how you guys have already been playing shows. So I just want to know how has it been like playing shows again, because you guys are all like fully back to 0 to 100.
It's weird. It's weird. The vibe's different for sure because we're trying to protect ourselves a lot more. You know, like we don't leave our camp. Like normally we'll go out, talk to fans, do things like we'll have like the normal meet and greet where like we're just interacting with people, but like everything is distance now, social distance, you know. So it's very weird. We did our like sort of first like we did like some festivals in the UK and then came back to the US and did like our first like tour, which was like 2.5 weeks. In that time, all of us got COVID. Like it started out where like 2 people got it like the second day of tour, and then we put them up in a hotel. We were all testing. We stayed in the hotel as well, different rooms. We all tested after like 4 days. The people that were like still negative, were like, okay, well, I guess we're good. We went on, left the other people back at the hotel to meet us later when they were clear. And then like a few shows in, 3 more people got COVID. So then those went to the hotel. It's like, it seemed like unavoidable almost. Like we were being as cautious as we can be, but still, you know, it's unavoidable. I guess when you are traveling in a bus with like 12 people on your bus, and you do that for a month, and you're going to different states every day, different places where you're going to be on stage and there's a crowd in front of you all breathing the same air, all doing, I think that like half the time it's unavoidable. Like you may end up getting it, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's tough. It's a weird environment that we've come back to playing music, because obviously no one wants to get COVID. We don't want to give anyone COVID, and you know it's a tough thing. Like what do you do, because our livelihood is playing music, but there's only so long that we can just sit at home, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a terrible situation, but I don't know any other way to do it other than just everybody get vaccinated, take your shots, you know, and stay up on your vitamins, try to keep your immune system in check, and just, you know, wear your mask. That's all we can do. So
you guys are wearing masks at shows, is that right?
We are not on stage because we're playing, but everywhere else we're wearing masks. And when we do meet and greet, we're on stage, and then the people that we're meeting are off stage in the front. So like we're distanced by the stage, and like I never left the bus. I would call ahead to order food. I would go and pick it up and come back to the bus and eat it. Like, and I would not go out, didn't go anywhere, didn't do anything. I got it on the last day. So I woke up right before the show, and then I was like, we had been testing every day, and I tested. I was like, I almost made it the whole tour, but ended up getting it the last day.
Timing.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible.
Because do crowds have to wear it at the show as well, like a mask?
No, they don't.
Oh, okay.
They have to take a PCR test, or sorry, whichever one, the rapid response test, and they have to show that they are either you're vaccinated or you bring in your test that shows that you took the test within like the past 48 hours. And that's kind of how most of the states, because every state is different, but that's how most of them were. So you would think that we would be good, but obviously what's so crazy about this, and I know our time's running out, but what's crazy about this is that like I was feeling sick and testing, and I said I feel like I have like a cold or something, which like COVID symptoms are very cold like. So I was like, it's either cold or it's COVID, but I'm testing every day, and every day it's showing negative. And on like the 10th day of testing, while feeling like crap, on the 10th day, then it tested positive. And I was like, okay, so it took like it's not like you like get it and then you take a test and then it's like, oh, okay, like you have it. It's like it can stay like dormant in your system and not show up on the test for like 2 to like 12 days. Like it's scary how long that you can have it, but without knowing you actually have it. You know what I mean?
Which probably explains how many other people get it, because you don't know you're actually like passing it around.
Right, for sure. And the time that you are most able to infect other people is within the first like 2 to 3 days. So those are the days where you don't know you have it and you're giving it to everybody around you. So it's a terrible thing, but I mean, that's the world we're living in currently.
Well, I'll end on this question then. I have to ask, because I feel like it's sort of like a given, but like, why no New Zealand this time around?
Well, I mean, obviously we would love to, yeah. We would love to if we could, but I imagine they probably don't want us there. So
what?
I mean, if we're doing Australia, I imagine we do New Zealand, but I imagine that the to come in, the only thing I can think is that either one, normally like there's only a couple of venues we can play, and there's only a couple of promoters that we would be using for those venues. So either they're finding it too risky to do right now to like bring bands over out of overseas bands, or the regulations to get in for non-New Zealand natives is a lot harder to like for us to come in from the US. Maybe it's like you have to have a full 14 days of quarantining in a hotel before you're allowed to enter into New Zealand. And if that's the case, like we can't afford to do that. You know what I mean? So
I mean,
that's probably,
you just have to be vaccinated as far as I know, but
then your guess is as good as mine, because we'd obviously love to be there.
But either way, I'll pop over to Australia anyway. I've already sort of planned it because my sister's in Australia now, so
okay.
Plan to come over just in case anyway.
Well, then we'll see you in Australia.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so excited.
Very
Especially
cool.
with that album, I was like, this is gonna be all the feels.
Yeah, this is my personal favorite album, so it'll be fun to play.
I
play
forgot
all those songs.
I felt like I hadn't listened to it for a while, so I listened to it in full, and I was just like, no one's gonna handle this live, I think.
We'll see. I imagine a lot of people are in the same boat where they haven't listened to it in a while, and they're like, what songs are on this record? Let's find out. So
and then
I think it'll be good though.
It's gonna be crying, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I will let you go. I do have some but yeah, it was good to see you and talk to you, and hopefully I will see you in Australia and maybe New Zealand. But definitely.
Hey, if we can make it work, I'd love to be there. So
but congratulations on the where am I going? This one on the album.
Hey, thank you.
And
Shelley, we will talk soon in Australia. We'll see you there. So.
When she smiles, well, it's got nothing